Hi, and welcome to That's Ready Mysterious. Join me for an intriguing look into real-life mysteries. Who was the mad gasser of Mattoon? What was whaling at the Wilga waterhole? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sreadymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about the Williams Enigmalith, also known as the Petrodox. The Williams Enigmalith is an OOPArt, or an out-of-place artifact. OOPArt is the term used to describe dozens of prehistoric objects that don't seem to align with the time period from which they come. The Williams Enigmalith is a 100,000-year-old artifact. It looks like an electrical component embedded in granite stone. Some researchers have compared the component to an XLR connector. The Williams Enigmalith was discovered in 1998 by electrical engineer John J. Williams. He found it on a hiking trip in North America. He found it in the middle of nowhere. He was far from human settlements, industrial complexes, airports, factories, or electrical or nuclear plants, although he would not be more specific. Williams saw what looked like an electrical connector jutting out from the ground. He dug deeper to try and free the connector and discovered a device with a triple-pronged plug embedded into rock. Because Williams wouldn't reveal where the object was found, some believe it was a hoax. The electrical component embedded into the rock is about 8 millimeters, or about 0.3 inches in diameter. The pins are about 3 millimeters, or about 0.1 inches high. The spacing between the pins is about 2.5 millimeters, or again around 0.1 inches. And the pin thickness is about 1 millimeter, or about 0.04 inches. The component doesn't seem to be made of wood, plastic, rubber, or any other recognizable material. Ohm meter readings between the pins show the artifact has either an open circuit, which is a condition where electricity doesn't flow, or a very high impedance. The artifact has a weak magnetic attraction. According to Williams, melted blobs of metal-like material on the component's edges suggest that the artifact may have been subjected to high enough temperatures to melt metal, and that melted metal splashed onto the artifact. The Williams Enigmalith is now known as the Petrodox. The stone is made up of quartz, feldspar, and small traces of mica. It is a form of granite, although it is porous and granite is not. Although the artifact is dated to around 100,000 years old, the youngest granite on Earth is closer to 1.4 million years old. The Petrodox is not an accretion, or a thing formed or added by gradual growth or increase. It is also not a concretion, or a hard, usually inorganic mass formed in a living body. It's also not a pumice or a volcanic glass full of cavities. And it is definitely not a fossil, or the remains of a prehistoric organism preserved in petrified form. The Petrodox also doesn't contain any known resins, cements, glues, adhesives, limestone, mortar, or other non-rhyolite or non-granite binding agents. It is a hard substance. Williams says the plug is not glued or welded in any known way. He says it is obvious the object already existed at the time of the rock formation, which is impossible. How could a modern electric device have been created so long ago? Williams has received offers to buy the Petrodox for as much as $500,000, but he will not sell it. However, he insists the Petrodox is available to any researcher who wants to put it to the test. So far, only a few have done so. Williams says he must be present any time the Petrodox is being studied. He will not allow the rock to be divided, but X-rays have revealed that the rock consists of an opaque internal structure at the center of the stone. Researchers who have studied the artifact say it is at least 100,000 years old, which is again impossible if it is not artificial. However, there's no way the people of the time could have created the petrodox. Williams believes he found a real object that belonged to an ancient civilization, or that the artifact was left behind by aliens. If you study the petrodox, there are two possibilities. The first is that the artifact is a hoax. The second is that it will radically change your understanding of our history. According to a website that claims to have been published by Williams, you must pay $19 for a CD-ROM of the full website. It also says that Williams is trying to put together a scientific team to dig at the site where the artifact was found. He believes aliens have come to Earth and he's trying to prove it. What is the Williams Enigmalith? Is it an ancient artifact, or is it a hoax? Was it left behind by aliens? What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ready Mysterious. Join me next week for another captivating mystery.